Hello. Welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo, Oregon Public Library's podcast. I'm Harrison.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Cindy.
And we've got a lot of news going here to... that was my sleeve. There we go. I blew that. I didn't know where I was going with that sentence. We have a thing that happens today with the upcoming...
Breaking news. New news. We have a lot of exciting events coming up. First of all, tomorrow we have Ramen Book Club aimed at teens and tweens. Come experience some authentic ramen. We're going to talk about our favorite graphic novels, and it's going to be a good time. And next, we have Outdoor Movie Night on the 19th at 7:30. We're going to watch Wicked. Gonna be great.
Yeah, bring your lawn chairs.
Bring a chair.
And a blanket.
And a blanket.
And an umbrella, maybe.
And a sweater. Definitely a sweater.
Yeah.
We're going to have popcorn. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to give a quick shout out to the resource fair we're having at the end of the month on September 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You're going to...
We're going to have it's going to be more than just a resource fair. So The idea is that we are bringing in a lot of community people who have resources for people, but also are opportunities for you to give back as volunteers. And if you come, and we hope you do, bring your kids, because we will have activities for the kids at a bunch of different booths. We're playing resource fair bingo for a very, very nice prize that was donated from Oregon Coast Aquarium. So please come in. It's scheduled for 10 to 2 on September 27th. All right. So lots going on at the library. And next on the agenda is our beverage of the day. This was chosen. I was walking through the grocery store. My husband came up to me and said, "You got to do this on the podcast." It is called Fanta. It's a Fanta, which we've done Fanta before. And we did the Beetlejuice Fanta, which was lime green and not tasty. But, it was Beetlejuice. This is Chucky.
Yikes.
Chucky's Punch. That's what this is called now. Harrison, give us a rundown on Chucky.
Chucky from the Child's Play franchise, voiced by Brad Dourif, is the spirit of the cartoonish supervillain level serial killer Charles Lee Ray, who performed a voodoo ritual against its proper use to transfer his soul into a good guy's doll, and then movies and TV shows and everything else spawned off of that.
Scaring people forever.
Yes. Love Brad Dourif.
Okay, thank you. I put you on the spot for that.
I had to refresh myself.
All I know is that Chucky's a doll.
I've only seen the first 3 movies.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, gosh, that's so many.
Yeah, I think, isn't there a new Chucky movie coming out or something?
Yeah, and there's a TV show now. It's gotten so big that I'm like, it's so much to catch up on now that I kind of watched the first 3 and tapered off.
So Chucky's Punch is, as you would guess, punch flavored. I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Chucky Punch. Chucky Punch.
And it has
in the wind.
70 grams of sugar.
It smells very strong.
It smells like punch.
Ade due dambala.
40,
Give me the power, I beg of you.
Woo! It smells like punch. Okay, here we go.
That's a cherry NyQuil flavor.
Ugh.
I don't mind it.
I do.
But it's like black cherry. It's like a black cherry soda to me.
To me, it tastes like when I was a kid, my family used to get the, remember Juicy Juice? The bulk juice in the big aluminum can.
Yeah.
Crank open with the little.
Yeah.
It tastes like carbonated Juicy Juice.
Yeah. Well, I think, punch juice and punch gives it away.
Yeah.
It's just
strong.
Punch flavored.
It's like if NyQuil were a soda That's how safe.
It doesn't have the whiskey kick, though. No. NyQuil does.
And I feel like a proper Chucky punch would have whiskey in it.
Yeah,
but,
or something.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm going to finish it, but
I know it's not horrible to me, but then again, it's a child. It tastes a little like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I'll
Black cherry Kool-Aid with fizz.
I think I get it. Mm-hmm. It's like Chucky as a haunted doll. It reminds me of childhood in a way I don't like.
There you go.
It's a bad version of something comforting.
Right. So there you go. Anyway, go out and purchase your Fanta Chucky's Punch and taste it for yourself.
Making me sad.
It's kind of, okay. Anyway, so today's topic is women book and movie characters that we either really love or really hate or dislike. Hate is a really strong word, and I couldn't find one I just hated, but I did find several that I didn't like very much for a variety of reasons. So who wants to start us off? Okay, I will.
I don't know.
Okay, thanks. I was going to say, wow, that was... Dead air is bad. No one jumps in. Okay, I will start off because I've been reading a series of books by Anna Lee Huber, and she's written several series, but this one is the Lady Darby Mystery Series. And I picked it up because it looked kind of interesting, and I think I had pulled it for something else, like some display or something, and I thought, I should read that. And so I have now read 4 or 5 of them, and there's more in the series, and she's just coming out with a new one this year. It'll be here in a couple weeks probably. So the Lady Darby Mysteries are a very complicated character that grows throughout the series as life happens to her, which I really like. I like the growth of a character. I like to see that. I like to see them learn from past mistakes or past successes instead of, which I will talk about the one I hate or dislike, because it's kind of the opposite of that. So the other thing that really appeals to me is this is a historical fiction. It's set in Scotland in 1830, and the character Lady Darby, her first name is Kira, she is married to, or was married to, a famed anatomist who dissected bodies to then be illustrated for a book of anatomy. Whoa. So I was like, this is interesting. I'd never read about this time, and I'll explain that in a minute too. He arranges a marriage with her because she's a portrait artist and she's very talented, and he wants to use her talents to illustrate his book that he is creating on anatomy. But he forces her to witness the dissections, and he is abusive to her in that he threatens to take away all her paints, take away all of her any chance she would have to do art, and break her hands if she won't do the sketching for him. Oh, no. And so you already are seeing who this character is. So he then passes away. He dies. And after his death, which is just a natural, he was much older than her, it's natural causes, she is accused of crimes against nature. Once they find out that she was forced to do these drawings, she is accused of crimes against nature and having an unnatural interest in the dead. Now, keep in mind, this is Victorian Scotland. And also, she is accused of procuring dead bodies through grave robbing or even seducing young men to their death. So the research that this lady did, that Huber did for this, is really interesting because she sets it in 1830, which is about a year after the Burke and Hare murders that happened in Edinburgh. Now, I don't know if you've heard of those. Okay, so The Burke and Hare murders were a series of 16 murders committed over a period of about 10 months in 1828, Edinburgh, Scotland. And they were undertaken by William Burke and William Hare, who sold the corpses to Robert Knox for dissection in his anatomy lectures. So Robert Knox was a leading anatomist in Edinburgh, and it was the leading European center for anatomy. So there were... They did anatomical studies. They had a school there, a medical school. So this is awful. I mean, this is really awful, and I apologize if you're yucked out by it. But so because it's the leading center in Europe for anatomical studies, everybody wants a dead body. Mm-hmm. And so they fell short. The demand for cadavers had a shortfall because in a legal supply. So Scottish law said that corpses used for medical research should only come from those who died in prison, suicide victims, or foundling and orphans who had died. Mm-hmm. Those were the only legal cadavers. Mm-hmm. So the shortage of corpses led to an increase in body snatching.
Resurrection men.
Resurrection men by what were known as resurrection men. And measures to ensure that graves were left undisturbed. They used mort safes, which were like boxes that they put the bodies in, and you couldn't get into them. So, when a lodger, William Hare had a lodging house, and so when one of his lodgers died in his house, he turned to his friend Burke for advice. And they decided to sell the body to the leading anatomist in the city, Robert Knox. So they sold the body, even though this person died of natural causes, they sold the body to Knox. They received what was for them the generous sum of £7. A little over 2 months later, when Hare was concerned that a lodger with a fever would deter others from staying in the house, he and Burke murdered her and sold the body to Knox. The men continued their murder spree, probably with the knowledge of their wives. Their actions were uncovered after other lodgers discovered their last victim, Margaret Dougherty, and contacted the police. So there's more. This is from Wikipedia. Don't go down that rabbit hole unless you are interested in this, because it's pretty grim. But they eventually, because we all like to know what happens to these bad guys, they get caught. They suspected Burke and Hare of other murders, but they had no evidence. The police couldn't find any more evidence. Mm-hmm. And so they asked William Hare, they gave him immunity from prosecution if he turned King's evidence. And so he did. He provided the details of Dougherty's murder and confessed to all 16 deaths. Formal charges were made against Burke, his partner, and his wife for 3 murders. And at the subsequent trial, Burke was found guilty of 1 murder and sentenced to death. The case against his wife was not proven, a Scottish legal verdict to acquit an individual as the prosecution had not proven their guilt. Burke was hanged shortly afterwards. His corpse was dissected, and his skeleton is displayed at the Anatomical Museum of Edinburgh Medical School, where... here, as of 2025, it's still there.
Wow.
Whoa. So the murders raised public awareness for the need of bodies for medical research and contributed to the passing of the Anatomy Act in 1832. Hare, the guy who turned evidence, was released from prison and then sent to England, where he disappeared. He had a harrowing trip to England as the mobs of people were eager to take care of him.
That's good, Dave. That's good.
Knox, the anatomist that bought the bodies, knowing full well what he was doing, was barred from lecturing, and eventually he went to England, where he was in disgrace. So the thing this comes up in the story. And I thought, I need to read up on this to kind of figure it out. But she's really good at explaining why her character is so ostracized, because it happens within the next year. Mm-hmm. And because of her husband, Lord Derby, being so prominent in society and then being an anatomist and dying. He doesn't take the blame. She does. So her reputation is in tatters, and she hides out. The first book finds her with her sister in a remote part of Scotland. Mm-hmm. She's pulled into the murder, which is like, I just felt so sorry for her. By this time, I'm like, man, leave her alone. She's been through enough. But she's pulled into the murder because she has an expertise in anatomy, because she understands the human body. And this person is murdered, and they don't know. They want to know the cause of death, and they want to know what's going on. And because she has she's been forced to watch and record the dissections that her husband had performed. She's pulled into it, and then she's also, of course, by all of the other characters in the book, many of them consider her a prime suspect because of this unnatural interest in death. So over the course of the books that I've read, I really we see the growth, but it's not like, oh, these people, all of a sudden they accept her because she's, so wonderful and she's so smart. No, they think it's even worse that she is interested in what happened and she wants to solve the murder. And so it just shows that her kind of growing confidence, but also how she deals with the trauma of having an abusive husband and having to deal with conquering those fears in her relationships with other people. So she does a really good job. I really did like that. I also have honorable mentions, but we'll get to those. You shouldn't ask me. So the name of the book is The Anatomist's Wife. By Anna Lead Hubner. We have it on our shelf. In fact, we have the whole series. Unless you're in book 5, and then you can't have that because I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Very popular series.
It is. She's a good writer.
It sounds so interesting. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Sophia next.
Okay, are you ready?
We're ready.
Always. I'm going to drink more of my Chucky Punch.
Mine's gone, and I don't know why, and I'm not happy about it.
It's because it tastes like NyQuil. I don't know. You tell me. Okay, so I'm going to start with my least favorite because I hated her guts and she made me so mad. Okay, so I just finished Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. It just came out this year. And I was like, oh, romance. It'll be light. It'll be fun. No, it was sad. And I was like, I should have. Oh, it was just sad. And she warns you. She gives you a trigger warning. Like, if you don't want to read about these subjects, you don't have to. And I pressed on. So, the main character, her name is Samantha. And I think what made me mad was that she just kept lamenting the same problem, but she wasn't doing anything about the problem. And her and the male character lead were just stuck in this perpetual cycle, and they just weren't doing anything about it. And it just made me mad. I was like, you just need to, like, I don't have a very eloquent way to say it, but you just need to make a choice, And then it was magically solved in a really unrealistic way, and that made me even more mad. So that is why I hate her guts, because she just
don't hold back. Tell us why, Sophia.
Oh my gosh.
I just hate her.
No, it's just like she just like is just like wallowing in her own pity and is like not doing anything about it, and is just like lamenting and complaining about the same problem over and over and over and over, and she's just not doing anything about it. And I'm like, okay, well, you just need to either make a choice and live with it, and these are the consequences of your choice, or you just need to move on, Samantha. So that's how I felt.
Do you
about
think
that book?
If you weren't the problem solver type of personalities, that you would have liked it?
Maybe.
I just know that I don't like those kind of characters either.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Just
please.
solve the problem.
Yes.
Do what you need to do. But I'm also that kind of person.
Yeah. I'm just
in real life.
Yeah. She was just living in it, and she just wasn't doing anything about it, which I think is like, it's necessary, right? You have to feel your emotions, feel however you're feeling about the problem and recognize what's happening. But also at the same time, like if you're not going to do anything about it, why are you complaining, Samantha?
That's true. We all have a friend like that, right? Where we're like, I told you what to do. Just do it.
Just do it. I don't know. Maybe it's like reflective of me in my own life also. Maybe that's why I was frustrated. Here we are.
Okay. Harrison?
Okay, let's see.
Who do you love or hate?
Do you hate their guts?
Let's see. Love or hate? Which do we want me to start with? I got two hates, 3 loves. I guess I'll start with the most clear cut one for me. Arya Stark from the Game of Thrones books.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Books and TV show. That kid's cool. So I just like what George R.R. Martin did with that character, how she develops from.
Is she the really young
yeah
one? Okay.
And she's got the needle, and she was trained by the the great swordsman who taught her how to not today. So I don't have a lot to like expound on in that. Just like I really like that whole arc of the character kind of stepping up, becoming independent and connecting with people, like the relationship between her and the Hound later on. Just the dynamic of that character is really interesting to me. And that's not the only Game of Thrones character on my list either. But yeah, I liked Arya, both how she was in the books and in the TV show too, the way they realized that character.
So who's the other Game of Thrones? Is it a love or hate?
See, this is where I don't know. Because this could go a couple of ways. If we're talking about a character who you think would be a likable person in real life as the character, or a character you like because they're written well and you like how the character was realized. This could be either one, and it's Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. Not someone I would want to be around, right? And not a likable character, did horrible things in the books and the TV show, but in both cases written and portrayed in a way that's like believable, not like straight cackling supervillain things, but like just not caring about other people in a specific way, just being driven by personal motivations at the expense of other people, like a believable kind of it's never clear cut like villains and heroes stuff in those books, but like I believe a person like that would exist, unlike in a lot of like antagonist type characters. Sometimes if a writer hasn't put enough effort into them, they make them like just evil in a way that wouldn't exist in real life. But like I can see someone thinking that way and making those choices. And so I like the character in that I like the way that the character was written. I think it's a well thought out character, but also don't like because most of that family is not likable in that book. Most of, right? And then so those are my 2 Game of Thrones ones. And one of them I like the character, and one of them it depends on what we mean by like. If we're talking meta like or personal like.
Yeah. Okay.
What's meta?
Like in the big picture,
from a writer's perspective, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Are they well written?
Right.
To be what they are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like a fully fleshed character.
Yeah.
Because I came across that too, as I was thinking, well, do I dislike somebody because they're the villain in the story? or do I dislike them in general just because they're really bad people, you know? Or is the writer making them the person you're going to hate? Because some of my honorable mentions are definitely the villains in the story, but I wouldn't like them anyway.
If it's easier in a case, I feel like where you're supposed to root for the character, but they end up unlikable, because then it's both ways.
Yeah.
Right.
Like in that where it's like, I don't like I feel like the writer did a poor job of presenting this character because I'm supposed to like them and I don't.
Right.
And I wouldn't like them in real life also. It's a twofer that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that one I wasn't sure which way they were going.
Yeah. So the character that I dislike, and like I said, I have honorable mentions. I have a whole list because, that's me. The character that I dislike is from a series of books called Aunt Dimity books. They're written by Nancy Atherton. They're older books. There's a whole bunch of them. So this is a complicated thing because I liked the character in the first few books. And but after a while, it seemed like her character was not learning anything from what was going on. So it's an ongoing character. Her name is Laurie Shepherd, and she starts out pretty downtrodden, and things happen, and she gets into a position where she's married and she's supposed to be happy, but she's such an insecure character. So her husband is working late with his partner he's a lawyer, who happens to be another lawyer. And she, of course, is very suspicious about his behavior. And instead of just talking to him, she gets all worried and she causes more problems. And then I was telling Sophia this earlier. Then it becomes this trope in the book that there is a young, handsome man that comes in who's single, and Laurie's husband is off doing his thing, being a lawyer and providing for his family, and she's really attracted to this other guy. He's so handsome. I'm so tempted. But then it's like, no, I'm happily married, but I'm still going to spend time with this handsome, tempting man. And it just makes me cringe. It just made me...
Oh, yeah.
I'm so annoyed with this woman who is warned by her friends and the character of Aunt Dimity over and over again. You are treading in where you shouldn't go. You're tempting yourself to see the bad in your husband because this guy looks so tempting. And it it got old. And I gave up after 8 books, and there's probably 16 in the series.
Oh, no.
I just couldn't anymore. I just couldn't.
This reminded me just that whole close enough that it's that's still that close enough to count. We were, my wife is watching Big Brother and all the relationships on the show. And last night we got into a whole conversation on the semiotics of hugs. What is an appropriate hug to give someone else when you are in a relationship with somebody else. Right. And I started thinking about all the things that are where's the line? And I'm like, okay, not too long. No, a pat, max 3 pats, no lateral movement of the hand, no rubbing, that's out. A hug, a too close hug, the weight of your arms should not, or either person's arm should not be borne by the other person. You don't drape the arms. Oh. You can hoist the other person.
You really got
into this.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of hugging on Big Brother, and some of it is okay, is this person has a girlfriend back home, is this the right kind of hug?
Yeah.
So I'm the weight of the arms need to be self-supported. If you're hanging an arm on somebody, too close. But you can lift the other person if you've got that kind of a friendship. You can, right?
And then drop them.
Yeah. Immediately.
But you didn't mention the side hug.
Yeah,
side hug is always good.
Yeah, that
side hug
good.
is default hug.
Yeah, it's a default. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's a comfort hug.
Oh,
I think
default is this
describe what you're doing.
Yeah.
Two hands.
It depends on Yeah, there are other. There are other variables. But I always, if I'm unsure, side hug.
Yeah.
If it's somebody I've known for like my whole life,
that's a whole different thing.
Full hug. Yeah. Full bilateral hug.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, but thank you. Yes, that's the term I was searching for.
I spent too many years in education. The side hug works.
Oh, side hug, yes.
That's all you do, man. Oh, dear. Okay. So that was the person I didn't like. She annoyed me.
So who is Aunt Dimity in these books? I thought that they were about Aunt Dimity, but it sounds like
they are. So these are a little supernaturally. So Aunt Dimity is this woman whose Laurie is her great niece or something, or she was friends with Laurie's mother. There's a whole backstory to it, but basically Aunt Dimity is a ghost.
Oh, okay.
That communicates through a journal that Laurie was given. So it's an interesting kind of, it's almost supernaturally, but it's woven into this very normal mystery.
Oh.
They're not bad. I hate to say that. I don't want to diss Nancy Atherton, but oh my gosh, Laurie, grow up.
So
pretty much like, come on. You have 2 kids and you're,
So the fact that there's a ghost doesn't like undercut the mystery.
No.
That's good.
No, it's mostly the ghost is there to like this wise person that's supposed to give, and she does. She's the biggest warning all the time. I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're tempting yourself beyond, what are you doing? You're going to ruin your marriage. You have a good thing going kind of thing. And so, yeah, there's some interesting supernatural kinds of things in it. But anyway, Aunt Dimity embodies the pink bunny.
Oh.
So if you look on the cover of the books, there's always a pink bunny somewhere, and Aunt Dimity is the bunny.
What if something happens to the bunny?
Oh, I'm not giving away the plot.
Make a move and the bunny gets it.
Right? If anybody figures out.
So why doesn't the ghost, not to sidetrack us, but why doesn't the ghost just solve the murder if there's a ghost?
Because she can't be everywhere. So it's a weird thing.
Oh,
Okay,
so it's explained.
If she can't witness it, if she's not able to witness what happens, then she can't solve the murder.
Okay.
She can talk to other people if they're willing to talk to her. So this afterlife thing that they've created, that Nancy Atherton's created, is kind of an interesting premise. They don't all wander around,
okay,
in this netherworld. They cross over, or whatever, she calls it in there. Or they refuse to talk. Or they don't know how to talk. They don't know where they are, and they're confused, and they refuse to talk. So, yeah, there's this whole kind of world that she's built. And it's interesting, but it's not interesting enough for me to go back and endure another novel.
Yeah. No more.
Can't do it anymore.
Woman who needs validation from other men.
I know. Like, you have a perfectly good husband who loves you. What are you doing? Anyway.
Woman.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Moving on. Who do you like, Sophia?
So many people. Can I give myself up? Okay. I'm just gonna I think 2 of them have like overarching themes. Andy from The Devil Wears Prada, and what is her name from The Wedding People? Phoebe from The Wedding People. And I think I love them because they're like messy and they're trying to figure it out and navigate their lives in these big turning point in their lives in their respective plots. But in the end, they choose themselves. They navigate all the turbulence and they choose themselves, and they're strong women, and I love that. Special shout out to Hermione Granger from Harry Potter for being wicked smart and just awesome and strong and being brave and leading the way.
And going to the library.
When
in doubt.
When in doubt. So,
Yep. I like Hermione.
Yep. It's just my favorite.
Because she hangs out with 2 doofuses and totally rocks it.
She saves them.
Yes, over and over.
So, yes. Girl power.
Yeah, mother.
All right. Me?
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to do a like or a not not like
you did
me.
one of each, kind of.
I did one of each, kind of.
You pick.
Okay. I'll do one I didn't like, and there's an asterisk on this, because I watched the movies several times, have not read the books.
Okay.
Did not like Bella from Twilight.
No way.
Never read the books or saw the movies, so
I'll say this. I like, in things since, I like Kristen Stewart as an actor. I've liked some things she's in. I feel like when she was in the Twilight movies, there wasn't a whole lot to do with that character. But I feel like it's kind of the Keanu Reeves thing, where, right, like some of the early roles, there's not a lot going on, but then we can see actor developing when they're given more material. So that's another asterisk. I'm getting into, like, there's the asterisk and then there's the little like, cross thing, and then I'm getting into the other ones. But but I recognize that there's a reason for that. I don't know how much that's true in the books, but that she is kind of like the player character in like an FPS game. She's like a void for the reader to insert themselves into, kind of to experience the story, and is kind of a blank slate in some ways. It doesn't do a whole lot other than react to what's going on. So I recognize that there are reasons for writing a character that way, and obviously it's effective, because if it is this kind of romantasy scenario where you're giving the reader or the viewer an in to the story, a character to sort of paste one's own motivations and feelings onto, that works. She's like Doom Guy.
Right.
From the Doom games.
Yeah.
He's just a big Marine with a gun, because you're controlling him the whole time and you're looking through his eyes, so he doesn't need to have like a whole he doesn't have to be anything more than that, because he's the player, right? She's the reader or the viewer. But correct me if there is more fleshed out in the books. Listeners, anyone?
I have never read them.
I only watched the movies, but I was like, love, romance. That was my focus.
We rewatch those every once in a while. We saw them in the theaters, and I enjoyed those.
I watched it in theaters when it first came out.
Yeah. But didn't feel like the character was fleshed out enough to be satisfying. That specifically.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely.
So that's my other dislike.
Okay.
And you're like?
Oh, do we want to do now? Do that one too?
Sure.
I went over all my characters.
Oh, you did yours. Okay. So for I'll do a movie. Ellen Ripley from Alien, Sigourney Weaver's character. I think both in Alien and Aliens and although the character got cloned and weird and that, but I'm talking, let's say, first movie through second movie. I just really like that character as a protagonist. In the first movie, it's kind of like, you had through the 70s, you had the kind of slasher film trope of the final girl, who gets away, defeats the killer, or escapes at the end. And at the end of Alien, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's basically a slasher movie. It's basically an Agatha Christie mystery, except it's an alien, where everybody's in the old dark house and they're getting picked off. But it's almost like a slasher film grown up and in space. And we don't have the final girl, we have a final woman. And it follows through to the second movie being an action movie. And she, in all cases, she persists by not being some sort of like superhuman action hero character, but just being resilient and smart and caring about the right thing. She's protecting a child. She's trying to get out of this situation. And you don't see like even since I feel like that you don't see as many characters embodying that fully, like especially like in Aliens, like in an action movie, like she's a very unusual action hero once it took that turn. And so I just like that she's like motivated by humanity and not like the like a lot of like Arnold Schwarzenegger characters of that period, right? Where even in these so yeah, I really like Ripley and that. Did you have more
mine, but if you want to do yours,
we can bounce back to.
Oh, I have my honorable mentions. I could go on all day.
Oh, okay. So I'll do my last one, which is sort of almost an addendum or a follow-up from the last one. And then I'll pitch back to you. But if we're going to go into video games, Samus from Metroid.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
And Metroid they took some cues from Alien for that, and there are some references and things. So Samus is almost the like action hero version of Ripley, right? Okay. It's space. She's a woman on a spaceship or on a planet, kind of superhuman. She's got a superpowered suit and some like genetic modifications. It gets weird back in the lore, and I honestly am not too familiar with it, but she doesn't talk much. And so almost has that like blank slate thing in terms of how the games are presented. Like you see what she's thinking through her eyes. Like you'll see in her helmet and her visor, her eyes reflected kind of, in which is a clever way of like establishing character without dialogue. So you get this kind of quiet, hard-boiled character who has like a backstory and has PTSD, like explicitly at one point she just collapses because a bunch of stuff comes to a head, but she picks herself up and keeps going. And so it's interesting kind of like taking cues from other sci-fi media and taking the idea of like a character who's strong but not angry and quiet but has a sense of humor and kind of threading an interesting needle there. Yeah, and honestly, I consider that almost like a follow-up because there are references to Alien. Like the bad guy and one of the bad guys in the Metroid games is named Ridley after Ridley Scott, who directed Alien. And so I think they were keeping kind of some of the heart of the protagonist in the Alien movies and kind of tweaking that to a slightly different end. But there's something about that characterization that even when you're kind of playing with it still is interesting.
Yeah. So
I probably didn't articulate any of that well.
My follow-up question though for you.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the Alien movies and I think that Sigourney Weaver is amazing. Can you imagine, do you think you'd like the character as well as if it wasn't played by Sigourney Weaver? Or do you think she contributes to the fact that you like it?
Man, it would be... That's the thing about film, isn't it? That would, who knows what direction. The way you think, because just line delivery would potentially change that. That's a really good question.
But I think you're right in saying she's a well-written character. I mean, the writers have they have a lot to do with the fact that she's, they gave her the line she says. Yeah. But the actress is the one who creates that character almost. So it's kind of tough.
It is tough.
To think, and I can't think of anybody who could do that part.
No.
As well as she did.
Or someone who would just read it as a straight up action superhero, or before that, a straight up like final girl character, and like let the monster be the star.
Right.
Which it takes some gumption to be an actor in a movie, even if it's written and be like, no, we're going to have the main character be not the big alien monster, but this person trying to deal with it. Like, yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what that's like there are, would we have liked Hermione Granger as much if she was played by somebody other than the person that played her? Or Would we have do we like her in the books as much as we like her in the movies?
Yes.
So there's that.
Yes.
There's that whole. I mean, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, anyway, so I have honorable mentions.
Okay.
Because I read a lot of books, and I couldn't pick one.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pick the one I really didn't like, and then move from there. So my honorable mention for characters that I liked. Remy Fargo from Clive Cussler's Remy and Sam Fargo series. These are all written not by Clive Cussler, just FYI. They're written by other people. She's the hero. She's strong. She's brave. She's really smart. She and her husband have this great relationship. If you read there's a whole book dedicated to how they met, which is one of my favorite books because she's not looking for a man. She's pretty much happy where she's at, and she's this person comes into her life she doesn't particularly like at first, but he's as smart as she is, and that is the appeal. So she's one of my favorite characters. Casey Duncan in the Kelley Armstrong series, the Rockton series, and then the Havens Rock series continues. If you haven't read any Kelley Armstrong books, she writes supernatural, romantic-y kinds of things a lot of the time. And she writes about demons and angels, and there's a whole thing. But the Rockton series is not that way. The Rockton series is a little weird, and it's got some... it reminds me a lot of the mood of Criminal Minds. Okay, so it's got that serial killer mood thing going on, but not necessarily serial killers, if that makes any sense at all. But it's just a really well-written series. The characters are really flawed, and Casey Duncan is the main character in there. She's a former police officer. I won't give it away, but she is terribly flawed. But throughout the series, she becomes more and more likable. And more you come to admire how far she's come in her in the character development. And then I'm reading Robert Thorogood's Marlow Murder Club Mysteries, and I've watched the first series, and I know that the second series is now on streaming or on PBS. But the character in there that I really liked is Bex, and she's the vicar's wife. And she's just great. She's just great fun, and terribly perfectionist and insecure and all of those things. And she's like the voice of reason with these two other women that she hangs out with and solves murders. And she's just great fun. And she's that way in the series too. They really wrote her well in the series. So those are three more characters I like. And then characters I don't like, and these may cause some problems for people. I apologize. And we were talking, about, okay, so a person, like two of my characters are from Jane Austen, and there are characters in Jane Austen books that they're supposed to be the bad guys. They're supposed to be the villains because of the way that they behave, but also because of the way society was that Jane writes about. And the first one is Lady Catherine de Bourgh, that we love to hate her. We hate her in the movies, and we hate her in the books. Okay, she's classist. She's a horrible person. She treats Jane and Elizabeth terribly. She's just nasty and mean and awful. But she thinks everybody should bow down and love her, And she's one of those. She's the villain, and she does it really well. Dame Judi Dench played her in one of them, and then I can't remember the name of the lady who played her in the BBC ones, but man, they do it so well. She's just such a well-defined character, but she's almost a parody of that type of societal character.
Like a commentary on the time.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
My other Jane Austen book, and this might be the one that gets me in trouble, because there are people who just love this book. I don't like Emma. I don't like Emma Wodehouse. She's a meddling person who really causes problems in the people's lives around her because she thinks she knows best.
Ooh.
Now, having said that, she grows throughout the book and becomes a little bit different at the end of the book. I will say that my favorite rendition of the movie Emma is Clueless.
I will say
so much.
that's the adaptation that I'm most familiar
Yes,
with.
I was watching part of it. Was on TV the other night. I was watching the end of it where it's just such a sweet ending, and she's just clueless, and that's Emma's clueless throughout the entire book series. She thinks she's doing the best thing for everybody, and she's not. She's just causing problems for everybody around her, and so I think what bothers me about Emma is that she thinks she has the right to do that.
Oh.
And she thinks she has the right to, I'm going to make you better. I'm going to make things better for you. There's a little bit of Glinda the Good Witch in there. I can make you popular. I can make you, and I just don't like her that much. My really bad villain, though, that I just like to hate her is Laura. She's a red vampire from the Dresden Files, and she comes in and gives him such a hard time. And she's like such a villainous, horrible person, and you just hate her in the books because when she comes into the situation, Dresden's going to get hurt. And so I won't give that away. If you haven't read the Dresden Files, I highly recommend it. It's urban fantasy. It's entertaining. It's funny. It draws its characters well. And I really enjoyed that.
And we have the original novels and the graphic novels.
We do. And there is a series on, I want to say Netflix that they did, which they should have done more of, but they didn't. So I have another, so you guys shouldn't have assigned me this. This should not be something because I will talk forever.
Hold on, back up, Cindy. This was your idea.
I know, and that's bad. That's bad. You shouldn't have let me do this because I can do this forever. I had to think, okay, so there's the love 'em and hate 'em types, right? Yeah. So you either love them or you hate them. Mm-hmm. And there are two books, and then I'm going to stop, okay? Books with complicated characters, right? Killers of a Certain Age is a really good book, by the way. Deanna Raybourn wrote it. Very good. You love them or you hate them, but they are so much fun. Mm-hmm. And so you either come away going, oh, man, that would never happen. But they're pretty lovable at the end. They're just fun. And then Richard Osman has written this Thursday Murder Clubs, but he also wrote another book called We Solve Murders. And it's an interesting read because it's one of those, you either love them or you hate them, and he's written them well. And so those are I'm not going to tell you any more than that. You have to come and read them yourselves. We have these books at the library if they aren't checked out. I didn't pick anything we don't have, so that you can come down and find them. And I will end now because if you don't cut me off, I'll keep talking.
All right.
Okay.
I'll punch this into the show notes. Right. It's going to be long. It's going to be like a CVS receipt. That'll be good.
Right. Just keep going and going and going. Okay.
All right. Have we exhausted our lists as well as...
Well, the ones I have written.
Comfortable, the ones you've written down.
I was looking while Cindy was, I was multitasking. I was listening and researching, but I remembered somebody that I loved was from Downton Abbey, the Dowager Countess, played by Maggie Smith. I loved her. She was so funny, so witty, dry humor, and she had these great one-liners where it like takes you a moment to realize how much, I don't know how pungent, those one-liners were, to just let you know. And so I was trying to look up a line that she said. Vulgarity is no substitute for wit. I don't know. She had so many that you can just go on all day. I never argue. I explain. Don't be defeatist, dear. It's very middle class. So just as the whole season and the movie, it just, made me laugh. So,
yeah.
Honorable mention.
There you go.
Scout from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's on the like list, obviously.
Oh, okay.
I should go without saying, but yes.
That was my automatic assumption.
Yeah, I figured it would be, but I
haven't read that book in eons.
I haven't either. I've read it numerous times, but yeah. That's my honorable mention.
See, we could keep going all day long.
We're just going to sit here quietly, and then once every 3 or 4 minutes, one of us will be like, oh, and that'll be the rest of our 3-hour podcast.
But do you watch Grey's Anatomy? Anybody?
No.
I don't.
No? Oh, my gosh. I can go on and on about all of the problems with Grey. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Did you ever watch ER?
A little bit.
With George Clooney? No, Noah Wiley.
Were they both on?
Yeah,
they were both on ER.
Howie Mandel.
And then Chicago Hope was the one with Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah. ER. Great show. That's before your time.
It was before, what was I watching at that time? Probably like Disney movies.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
At the very least.
I was...
Mulan, another strong female character that I love.
I remember watching both of those shows.
ER?
Yeah, ER, Chicago Hope. And was there a third like medical kind of primetime soap that was at the same time? I remember the two were on at the same time, and I remember...
Yeah, well, Grey's Anatomy's been on forever.
Well, Grey's Anatomy came later, but yeah.
No, ER was on. We have those DVDs too.
We do.
But they're just, it was funny. I just remember watching it and laughing because the way that the characters all interacted and stuff. Yeah.
Because you have an unnatural interest.
That's right. You dead people, apparently. Sophia, she watched Grey's Anatomy.
That's right.
Right there in the title.
Way to circle it back.
I think we better wrap this up.
All right.
All right.
We will talk to you all next time.
Okay. Bye.
Adieu. Bye.
The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Cindy Bilek, Sophia Kahn, and Harrison Baker. Original music by Harrison Baker. Editing by Harrison Baker and Sophia Kahn. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organization they represent. Good night.